In the first video, we did our planning and conceptualization using annotations in the VBA editor. In the second video, we're going to start translating those annotations into code, get into our coding. So let's get back into the file. And let's do something nice and easy to get started, to get warmed up with some VBA code. Let's look at the code to make sure there's 3 files open. Remember, our task uses 3 files. An old file, a new file, and a product data file. Before we do that, we've got to make sure we have a routine here. So I'm going to start a new subroutine. So if I say sub analyze files, so remember, an informative name for the routine is always helpful. And then this end subline of code, well, we want to move that down below the annotation. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And we now have a routine, so we can now run the routine. Let's think about making sure 3 files are open. I'm going to take this annotation, put it to the top. So how would we do this? Well, we can do this using one of VBA's collections. VBA consists of, Excel rather, consists of collections of objects. We've got cells in a spreadsheet. We've got charts on a sheet. We've also got open workbooks, the open workbooks collection. So we can say to VBA something like message box workbooks.count, workbooks.count here, and that's going to take the workbooks collection and tell us how many objects are in there. So how many workbooks are open effectively. So Control S, save the file, hit the F8 key, and then we're going to get to this line of code. It's going to be executed, and we can see we've got 3 there. So this is one of the checks we want to do to make sure everything's going to work. Let's check we've only got 3 files open to begin with. We don't want additional files open. We don't want fewer than 3 files open. So this is an important check to make sure we avoid problems later. So if there's fewer or more than 3 files open, we want to notify the user. We want to tell the user. So how might we do that? Stop the video and think about it yourself. But we can use a conditional statement here. And we can say if workbooks.count is more, or let's say does not equal 3, then we want to tell the user that something is wrong. How are we going to do that? Well, we've just done some communication with the user using a message box. So we can say message box, then an informative message, ensure 3 files are open, and then 0 gives us the standard message box. And then this final piece of information is the title of the message box. Usually that's Microsoft Excel. We can put something more informative for the user in there. So let's just say check here, and then we're going to say end if. So nice simple conditional statement, making sure things are ready to go. So if we now step through the code, stop the video, what's going to happen if we step through the code? Bear in mind, I currently have 3 files open, as should you. You should be downloading the files, working along with me, of course. Going to hit the F8 key. Where is the code going? We're not going into that conditional statement. That's because this condition is not met. Now, you could test this by opening another file and then seeing what happens. It's not easy with the screen recording for me to open other files. So I'm just going to change this number to 2, and then let's see what happens. Control S, save the file. I'm going to hit the F5 key this time to just play the routine, run the routine, and we've got the message saying ensure 3 files are open. I love this. I love this. This is something so many programmers ignore. Good communication with the user. If you want to make yourself stand out as a programmer, don't worry so much about the technical stuff. Worry about the softer stuff. For example, user communication. Your customers are going to love this. So we've got some good communication with the user there, and we've tested it, and I'm happy that it's working. So that's our first test done. So what else do we need to do? Well, this is where our annotations are going to help us. I'm going to position this annotation above the code that we've just put in here. So Control X and Control V. Hi guys, it's Chris here. I'd love it if you considered a channel membership. Click the join button below this video for all the details. Let's get back into it. Now the annotations are telling me we need to identify 3 files. So we need to tell Excel, these are the files we want you to look at. We're going to have to move between these files during the routine. How are we going to do this? Well, my approach would be to create another sheet in the file to control this routine. We're going to use it to put those file names in. We might use it later for other stuff. And this is a common approach I use in my work. Having a control sheet, often the engine sheet, people from the channel might know about that. So I've gone to the whole screen view here. We're going to create a new sheet. So just click the plus at the bottom here. We can see we've got a new sheet, Alt-OHR. Alt-OHR on the Windows PC means I can rename the sheet. What's it doing? Well, it's controlling things. So let's call it control. And now I can go back to the zoomed in view. And we want to put these file names in. So let's say new file name here, and then old file name here. And I'm going to go Alt-HOW and 30 here, Alt-HOW and 20 maybe, and then F4 key to repeat the last action. Now we want to put the name of the new data file in here. So I'm going to just flick through the files. So our file is called new data, but there's some system to system differences here. Some systems you need to include the file extension, other systems you don't. So what do I mean by that? I need new data going in here. So you have to test it on your system. So new data might work, or you might need new data and the file extension. What do I mean by the file extension? .xlsm. These files are saved as macro-enabled files. How do you find the file extension? Go to File and then Save As, and you'll be able to see the file extension here. So on my system, I think we're going to see in a second, I think I need the file extensions. And what's the name of the old file name? Is old data, very simply. So I'm being helped by the informative file names here. So old data, and make sure you're working along and doing this yourself. So we've got the new file name, the old file name, and then the product data file. Well, I don't think we need that because the code lives in the product data file. So we can just say to the VBA editor, use this file as the product data file, and we'll see how to do that in a second. So we've got to say to VBA, loop through the open files. Remember, we can do that because we've got a collection to work with, like a collection of cells. Just started to rain here. It's the UK. It's always raining. You might be able to hear that on your sound recording. Gives a kind of refreshing feel out here in the old garden office. So we want to loop through the files, and do we have these files open? That's going to allow VBA to identify them. How are we going to loop through the files? Well, we're going to need a variable to help us do this. And I'm going to say Chris book as workbook. And then we can use a for each object in a collection. Now, you might have seen me use, or you might have used yourself, for each cell in a range, for example. In a similar way, we can say to Excel for each workbook in a collection in the open workbook. So we can say for each Chris book. Chris book in workbook simply should do the job. And then what do we do when we open a loop? We need to make sure we close the loop as well. So we can say next Chris book here. Okay, then what are we looking to do? We're looking to identify, are these files open, where we put the names in. So how do we do that? Might want to stop the video. It's going to involve a conditional statement to do that. And we're going to say if chrisbook.name, one of the properties of the workbook, of course, equals, and then what's the range here? Let's just very simply say C3. Then we're going to have a message box flash up. We're just going to say workbook found here. Okay, so what's going to happen now? Control S, save the file. Let's step through the code using the F8 key to understand what's going on. So just hitting the F8 key now. We're into our loop. So this first time we're going through the loop here. Okay, so workbook found. So that looks like we've found the new data file. Then I'm going to carry on looping through here. Okay, so I'm happy with that. What we didn't quite see there wasn't quite clear. So what I'm going to try to do is just kind of externalize using a message box, externalize here the name of the workbook. So we should see all three of the open workbooks, their names kind of flashing up now. Make sure you're working along with me, hitting the F8 key now. So what I'm expecting to happen, a message box should flash up, and we've got new data here. So now we can understand what's happening because the name of this workbook is new data. This condition is going to be met because remember, we have new data typed into this cell. this condition will be met, which means we're going to go onto the other side, if you like, of the conditional statement just here. So we've got workbook found that. Okay, I'm going to continue through the loop here. So the next workbook in the collection, the old data workbook, well, what's going to happen now? And what do you think is going to happen? Are we going to run the conditional statement? Well, we're not, because that condition's not met, because the name does not equal the value in cell C3, as we can see there. So we're not going to see that message box flashing up. How many times we're going to go through this loop? We've got 3 workbooks open. So we've got our final workbook, which is our active workbook here. And again, we're not going to go into the conditional statement there. So this is so powerful, this stuff. This kind of mechanism I use so often in my routines if I'm working with multiple workbooks, looping through that workbooks collection and then identifying the files. In the next video, we're going to refine this code to complete that kind of identification process. Once the files are identified, we can then move on with this task.